So in this tutorial we're going to look at how you multiply and divide fractions. And the first thing we're going to remember is that we shouldn't try and do this with mixed numbers. So if we have mixed numbers, we turn them into top-heavy fractions and then we proceed. Now, golden rule, never try to divide fractions. That's a very silly thing to do. Instead, we're going to do, well, you may have heard this, flippant times. There are other ways of remembering it. But instead of dividing by a over b, you're going to multiply by b over a. So you take the second fraction, turn it upside down, and multiply instead, or times instead. And then the rules for multiplying fractions are reasonably straightforward. The first thing you're going to do, actually, before you multiply, is simplify. Do lots of factorising at the top, factorising of the bottom, and then cancel everything. We ignore the times sign, you can just cancel across that. And then we multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and you shouldn't need to do the last thing. You shouldn't need to simplify again, but if you have missed something, you will need to. And if we've got top-heavy fractions and they want mixed numbers, obviously we'll have to turn them back again. Right, let's do a couple of examples. Question 1, we need to evaluate 3 3/4 times 8/25. Evaluate just means find the value of. So the first thing to do, turn mixed numbers into top-heavy fractions. There is a whole tutorial on that sort of thing, but just remind ourselves that we get on the top, we get the 3 times the bottom, so that's the 4, so that's the big 3 times the 4, and then add the little 3. So as I say, if you want to recap, there's another tutorial, and we're multiplying by 8/25. And that's equal, therefore, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15 over 4, times 8/25. And now I'm going to do the rules that I've said here. First thing I'm going to do is simplify by factoring and cancelling. So the first fraction is 3 times 5 over 2 times 2. And the second one is, well, 8 is 2 times 4, or 2 times 2 times 2, and 25 is 5 times 5. Now I can do any cancelling I like here, top and bottom. So here's my green cancelling pen. I've got a 5 on the top and a 5 on the bottom. As I say, I'm basically ignoring this multiplication sign in the middle. I can cancel across that. And then I've got a 2 and a 2, and another 2 and another 2, bottom and top. So I've done all that cancelling. And that leaves me with, right, multiply the tops, 3 times 2. And on the bottom, well, there's nothing on the left-hand one, and I've just got 5 on the right. Okay, so just a 5, and 3 times 2 is 6 over 5. Now, if we want to turn that back into a mixed number, again, look at the tutorial, that is 1 and 1/5. Right, moving on to a second question. Here we've got a dividing sign, so 3 over 28. Divided by 6 over 7. Well, I'm not going to do that. Never try to divide fractions. Instead, we take the second fraction and we turn it upside down. That's the flip, and we times. And suddenly that becomes a whole lot easier. So I'm going to simplify by factoring and cancelling again. So, well, the top of the left-hand fraction is just 3. The bottom I could write as 4 times 7. The right-hand fraction, I've got 7 on the top and 2 times 3 on the bottom. The green cancelling pen comes out again, and I've got 3 cancels with the 3, 7 cancels with the 7, and since I've got nothing left on the top, I'm just going to put a 1 up there, and that leaves me with 1 over 4 times 2, which is 1 over 8. And we're done. So I hope that helps.